What's up, my fellow producers? Thanks so much for tuning in today. It's really been a long time since uploaded. This is due to low latency that I've been experiencing on my computer. Matter of fact, that aside, if you're new to this channel, I go by the name Trill, or you can call me just 74. Either ways. Yeah, we'll be doing something really simple. I got hit up, or one of the most challenges that I've been having when it comes to music was making sure that my mixes sound right, or I get to show you what I do to my mixing, so that at least you can learn something if you're having a challenge to mix. This is just one of those techniques. You might know something, but I know at the end of the day, probably it can add on to what you have, or probably you can have your own view. I'd love you to share it as well. I'll put my email right on my screen, or you can go along and follow me on Instagram, or if you guys have any questions. Just to give you what I have got, I'm using trophies, and I've got this pattern over here. That repeats itself for 8 bars. Then I have there's some sort of sub bass with the same pattern of my kick, although with a bit of switch ups. Then I got my kick, snare, counter snare. Is my pattern. If we've got those guys who want to follow along, that is my pattern right there. The biggest way to process things is to ensure that your volumes are already set. So if I open up my impact, you could see that on the kick there's some reduction that I'm doing to reduce some volume to my liking. If you set your sound levels to your liking, then from there what I usually do is, depending with what you do, but I like this trick. It might help you out, but this is one of my tips that I do to spread my my sounds to put some sort of organic, if I were to put it that way, because as you can hear it will be not very much full in a beat. So what I like doing is a send. So I'm gonna do a send there. By what I've just done is send some of the signal that is coming in my trophies, excuse me, into my RC20. From there, what I'm gonna do is reduce this all the way down, play it for you. So instead of layering the same trophies about 2 times or 3 times, I use this to double it up and give it some sort of heaviness. A bit of the cut, you can leave it as it is, but what I'm doing is I don't want the high notes, but the lower notes, so that they can fill up the lower end. Then from there I'm going to disable my magnet, and then I'm going to enable my space. This is in simple term a reverb plugin, I would say, because it's giving it space, that is more reverb. So I'll crank this up. Probably I'll do like, let's go a 40, since we have got our send level. That is without it. At times, depending with the vibe that I want to do, but at times I would also add the Viney, just to give it some variation. On the Viney, I would probably put this the WAP. I'll probably put it on the 24. Then you'd hear, and then on the second signal, since I already have got 2, there's one which is going to the main output and one coming into the RC20 effects. Here I'm going to detune it or change. I think that is too much. say I'll be done with my instrument. Next up, what I'll usually do with these two, my drums, I'll go ahead and disable that. So for my drums, I'm gonna add a bus for this. So we're gonna add the bus for the selected channels, drums, and then we just rename this as an instrument. I'm gonna set that up. Next up on my drums, what I usually like to do is let's just solo these up and solo save this. Okay, on my drums I would add my sausage fattener. I'll disable this up kind of, yeah. Then let's try to hear what it's doing. So this is off. It gives it like some sort of brightness and heaviness. Take a good listen to the hi-hats. It gives it that extra energy. You can go ahead and crack it up how heavy you want it or how bright you want your instrument to be. Being it that I'll put my drums on a drum pad. If I'll boost it way too much, probably I'll be affecting the hi-hat together with the kick that are going to that are supposed to be what am I saying? Supposed to be dealt with differently. Next up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bus that instrument like that. Next up, I'm gonna bus this. Remember the two signals of where the drums are coming from, the kind of bassy kick and my drums. You'd see that the output is going to drums, meaning the whole signal has to come through where the drums is. Next up, I'm gonna go do the same to my instruments, which are going to the main. And let me get this back again, pressing sorry. I'm gonna get these two. I'm gonna add a bus for these as well. So on this bus, I'm gonna hold shift, solo save that, and we're gonna put this on an instrument. Okay. Let me just try to explain for you a bit. I know there's some beginners and some good or experts, yeah, but for the beginner side, let me try to explain what I'm doing. So we've got our drums, which the signal gets to come from these two, will come first here, then from here it goes out there. It's not going direct there. Why? Because what I want is this to come, these two to first send their signals here, which is actually empty. Then from here they go that side. The reason why I do this, it becomes way too easy when you're doing with filtering or volume automation. Maybe you want to bring down your drums on a certain part or cut off something. This will be very helpful for you. You'd have I'll get these two. I'm gonna bust them again. So I'm gonna bust these and I'm gonna call these my reference. Reference, and I'll put it at the end. What's happening? I'll solo save that as well. It's to do with some settings somewhere here. I don't want to go into keep effects to the left. I think it's that one. These are my two sound sources, my drums and my instrument, which are going to be from here. They're going to come here as my reference, and then on my reference I'm going to add another bus for this channel, and I'm going to call it a mastering. Everything is moving. Pay much particular why I'm repeating this over and over, because I'm trying to avoid the thing where you watch a tutorial and then something is not unclear and then you go on to browse another tutorial. That happened to me at some point when I was learning, so that's why I'm taking time to explain. Please, I'm so sorry if you're an expert and I'm wasting time. So here we go again, the two instruments, that is this guy over here and this guy and this. These are my instruments. They're going to be bused to the instrument folder, and then I've got these two as my drums being buzzed to my drum folder. So we forget this part in the side. In the reference, what I usually put here is probably a VU meter. Okay, the whole reason to this is to know my input levels, how much of the gain is coming in before it reaches my master. This is very a VU meter. That just shows you how loud in my case I like my bass. This is just something that I prefer, or what I do. I like my bass in between my -3 to 2ish, or let me say -5 to 2 to 3, somewhere there in this range. To me, I'm okay with that. So this is just helping me up set my levels up. What I use the VU meter for is just to know how loud something is. Next up, I usually add what is known as an analyzer. Next up, this plugin is gonna show me the areas where my sounds are playing in. You can see that the top end is kind of loud. The bass is also kind of loud. Let's try to crank this bass all the way up. Yeah, you see that. Next up, I'm gonna copy this over to my drums as well. You could see that muddiness in the low end is already fixed. If I was mixing it in the normal way, literally I wouldn't have known what is happening in my low end. That's how my analyzer comes in handy. Then from there comes the big circuit you guys have been waiting for. That comes in to be the Ozone 9. Come on my mastering assistant. I'll click on my master, then I'll put it on a CD, and all I have to do is just hit the next. I'm going to put this on the post, and I'm gonna remove the first one there. Okay, now that is on the CD, all we're gonna do is hit our next. So it's actually waiting for you to play the audio. If you guys want in-depth review or how I use my Ozone, there's a lot of things that I go in. I can't really talk about this in this tutorial because it will make this video way too long, but I can do this. Can take a whole lot of its own video when I have time to do that. If you guys are willing to hear that, I'll go ahead and hit my play. If you've got any question, or probably I haven't really answered something up or haven't made some things clear, please you can put them down below in the comment section, so that please I can have a look at that, and probably I'll be releasing a video soon. For you guys who've watched the video all the way to the end, thank you so much for the support. You are the real OG fans. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.